step into the shadows with me for a second. I want you to lower your guard and really look closer. Welcome to this in-depth explainer, where we're going to leave that nice, comforting surface level completely behind. Today, we're diving straight into the unseen psychological currents that actually dictate human behavior. Because let's face it, we aren't here to look at what people want us to see. We're here to decode the hidden, the suppressed, and the completely unspoken. So I want you to paint a really vivid picture in your mind right now. Imagine you're sitting in a seemingly normal, well-lit room. There are 5 people around you. One's a close friend, one is your boss, and the other 3 are total strangers. Everyone's laughing, everything looks completely normal. It feels like a totally safe, relaxed environment. But then, you shift your perception. The illusion shatters. You suddenly notice that your friend's smile doesn't actually reach their eyes. It's entirely fake. The stranger to your left, they are physically shaking on the inside, barely holding it together. And your boss? They're secretly plotting against you. Now, you don't have superpowers, but suddenly, you can literally see all of their masks slipping. And this brings us to the absolute golden rule of dark observation. See, most people in this world walk around entirely blind. They only see exactly what the person in front of them chooses to project. But the raw truth is this: people lie all the time, but their bodies, their immediate physical reactions, those absolutely scream the truth. Elite negotiators, manipulators, and master observers use this exact playbook to drop anyone's mask. And today, we're going to look at exactly how they pull it off. Okay, let's dive into our first section, the omission profiling technique. The first technique we absolutely have to master turns everything we know about deception completely upside down. Usually, when we're trying to catch a liar, we focus entirely on the words coming out of their mouth. But deception isn't really about what people say, is it? It's entirely about what they intentionally hide. Basically, omission profiling is spotting deception by analyzing the specific details a person leaves out of their story. When the human brain tries to lie or hide something, it has to work incredibly hard to fabricate a story to cover its tracks. But in doing so, it carefully, almost surgically, edits out the specific elements that it knows could lead to getting caught. It builds this invisible wall around the danger zone by simply pretending that part of the story doesn't even exist. Let me walk you through a highly specific scenario just to show you exactly how this looks in the real world. Let's call it the Rohan test. Imagine you ask a friend, "Hey, where were you and Rohan last night? Your phone was completely off." And they jump in quickly. "Oh man, I was out, the weather was terrible, my car broke down, and my phone died, so I was just really stressed out." Okay, notice what just happened there? They gave you a perfectly reasonable story about the car and the phone, but they entirely dodged the real danger. They shifted the entire focus to themselves and their broken vehicle and completely ignored half of your question. They never even mentioned Rohan. Take a second and just let the gravity of that psychological trick settle in. Whatever detail they instinctively skipped over, whatever name they completely refused to say, that is exactly where the lie lives. The silence is literally the confession. Which leads us directly into section 2, the 2-question baseline test. When you suspect someone is lying, your first instinct is probably to just corner them with one massive question. But you should actually never ask a single question if you want to uncover the real truth. To drop the mask, you have to use a 2-question method. First, you ask a completely safe question, one where you have absolutely zero doubt about the truth. Just watch them answer it. They're going to reply instantly, comfortably, no hesitation at all. Boom, you've just established their baseline truth-telling behavior. Then you immediately hit them with question 2, the suspicious one, and watch their demeanor violently shift. If they suddenly start spinning tails, hesitating, or dodging the question, you know instantly that you have struck a nerve. Let's look at another super powerful example of omission, but this time dealing with timelines. Suppose someone is in serious trouble and they're recounting their evening to you. They say, "Okay, at 5 p.m. I left work. By 6 p.m. I was there. At 8 p.m., this crazy thing happened." And then they suddenly go, "And by midnight, just ran home, I couldn't handle it." Do you notice the massive structural flaw in that story? They rapidly recounted the early evening, but suspiciously jumped straight from 8 p.m. to midnight. 3 whole hours, just completely vanished. This is your moment to strike. Lock onto their eyes. Maintain heavy, unbreakable eye contact. Drop your voice to a deep, steady register and ask this exact question. Where did 9, 10, and 11 go? Do not break your gaze. Just watch their face. You will literally see their expression drop in raw fear as they realize their carefully constructed narrative just completely collapsed. All right, so we've mastered decoding words and omissions. Section 3 is where we transition into physical observation, catching millisecond microreactions. Because while words can be carefully manipulated, the body's raw biological reflexes, they simply cannot be faked. The truth is, people are constantly projecting a fake aura around us. Fake confidence, fake happiness, fake respect. Oh, I'm so happy for you, or everything is totally fine. But maintaining that illusion takes immense, exhausting mental energy. The human brain is simply not designed to hold a fake emotional mask flawlessly 100% of the time. Under pressure, that mask is going to slip. But here's the catch. It doesn't fall off for minutes at a time. It breaks for less than a single second, literally just a millisecond. It happens with such extreme speed, which is exactly why the vast majority of people are completely blind to it. But trained observers, people who understand these dark dynamics, can spot that tiny slip right before the mask gets reapplied. Let's look at a classic workplace scenario. Imagine you walk up to a colleague and tell them you just got a massive promotion. They smile super wide and go, "Wow, congratulations." But for a fraction of a second, you notice their jawline twitching. That tightening of the jaw, that is a primal physical response to anger. That brief, involuntary clench completely betrays their hidden jealousy, totally overriding whatever polite words just came out of their mouth. And this brilliantly illustrates another key point. When you deliver news of your success, do not watch their smile, watch their eyes. If they're truly unhappy about your victory, their eyes are going to involuntarily narrow for just a millisecond. It's this fleeting expression of displeasure or critical evaluation that escapes right before their conscious brain forces them back into a wide-eyed, supportive smile. Now, if you want to force this reaction and rip the mask off on demand, you use an active interrogation tactic called the shocker trick. Right in the middle of a totally normal conversation, you casually drop a highly shocking personal statement. You look right at them and say, "I know what you did that night." And then, you do nothing. You just observe. You are looking for that very first 1-second physical reaction. Is it genuine confusion, or is it a flash of pure terror and anger? Whatever flashes across their face in that first millisecond, that is the absolute truth. Completely ignore whatever verbal response or nervous laughter follows a second later. That is just the fake mask being desperately glued back on. Okay, we've covered lies of omission and the body's micro-leaks. Section 4 brings us to the final and honestly most crucial test, spotting the hidden wolf. This is specifically designed to unmask the most dangerous person of all, the so-called perfect person in your circle. We all know someone exactly like this, right? They seem incredibly nice, always gathering sympathy, always presenting this totally flawless image to the world. But you really have to ask yourself, is their kindness actually real? Or is it just a highly effective camouflage for a predator who is manipulating everyone around them for their own gain? To find out, we have to set a deliberate behavioral trap, and it happens in 3 slow, calculated steps. Step 1, before you do anything else, just observe how they treat their own belongings. Do they take care of their own phone, their clothes, their property? You absolutely must establish this baseline first. Step 2, once you know they're actually capable of taking care of things, hand them an object of yours and ask them to keep it safe for 2 days. Step 3, closely, quietly observe exactly how they treat your object while it's in their possession. So, here is the ultimate tell. If they protect your item and treat it with the exact same care they give their own things, their persona is likely genuine. They are exactly who they say they are. But if they casually toss your phone onto a table, neglect your item, and treat your property like absolute garbage despite taking perfect care of their own stuff, their nice persona is a complete and utter lie. They have zero actual respect for you. They are the hidden wolf, secretly toxic the very moment they think the spotlight is off. We've traversed the dark psychology of omissions, timeline gaps, involuntary jaw clenches, and behavioral traps. You now possess the tools to see what is completely invisible to everyone else in the room. The hidden intentions, the silent jealousies, the lies buried deep in skipped words. The power dynamic has entirely shifted in your favor. So, I leave you with this one chilling question to think about. The next time you walk into a crowded room, whose mask will you drop first?